Benwell, in the West End of Newcastle, has over the past few decades become home to many people seeking a new life in the northeast of England. The latest additions to this multicultural community are the Roma, especially those from the Czech Republic. Miro Simko and his family fled the Czech Republic in 1997, seeking refuge because of racism and violence.
Oh, they don't serve you in the pub, in the restaurant. Don't give you the proper advice. Don't give you proper money. They just cheat you everywhere. You cannot go out just by yourself because they cut you, beat you up. It's really very bad. For example, kids, they cannot go to, how they call the nursery? No chance. That's why the education is too low. It's just a couple of people in Czech Republic who get a title like doctor, or I think nobody got university.
Miro worked as a nurse in the Czech Republic, but was unable to transfer his skills to Britain and, needing to support his family, turned his hand to labouring jobs.
I worked many years in hospital. So when I came to England, I know first day, it will be in a clean work and a nice uniform. So, because the language was really big barrier. So after that, I said what I could do here, how I get life. So I just start doing a job in building, and I slowly built up myself. I could do tiles, I could do any jobs. So, and of course the language is now more better than before.
Like Miro, many other Roma have chosen to leave and make a new life in Britain.
So when they were actually able to come here legitimately as economic migrants, when those countries became part of the European Union, it was an opportunity that they had to take.
For us, Europe don't bring any change. Only we could travel, we could go, maybe because we have a Czech passport. Yeah. But for us, specifically, no change. Still same, and I think it's more bad. So they come many millions come to Czech government, many, for education, for integration programs. 12 years now or 15 years. Nobody do anything for Roma minority. So what's the point to leave there? What for? Just wait when someone come in and beat you up or kill your family or what? No.
So what sort of place have the Roma come to?
People might remember about 10 years ago there was about half a dozen properties for sale, and they were sold at 50p per property. So when people think of Benwell, they think of the place where you can buy a house for 50 pence. There is quite a transient population within Benwell, it's basically brought about by the high percentage of private rented properties in the area.
Many people live around me, so many countries, many languages and many cultures.
Seeing the West End, seeing Benwell becoming more and more multicultural is absolutely brilliant. Seeing different people from different communities, different shops, attracting different people, and being the centre, in Newcastle being the centre of integration.
The Roma's roots can be traced back to 10th century India. So what can they bring to Newcastle's West End community?
things. Music, clever children. They really wait for when get the education. And our culture is really, really big. We have to share, and we have a lot of things for sharing.
With such an influx of Roma into the area, Miro found himself the focal point of many requests for help and advice.
My phone I cannot switch off even through the day. I cannot, because I get, for example, 35, 40 phone calls. Everybody need my help, asking. And some good friends come my house, for example, today morning. So even I do insurance, car insurance, and I try to give them really just good advice. I do translating by phone. For example, DOB, date of birth, that doesn't know, see? So I just tell them, yeah, this is when you're born, that's it. Oh, really easy. They know now.
He basically told me that he'd have something like 10, 15, 20 people trailing into his house on a daily basis, and he was ringing around trying to get information for them, telling them what they needed to do, and that his wife couldn't cope with this anymore. You know, this was their home, this is where they were actually living and bringing up their children, and he was desperate for some way to be able to provide that level of support away from his own home.
Initially, the Roma used different community centres in the area, but it soon became apparent to Miro that, like other immigrant communities before them, they needed their own facilities.
There wasn't one place that fitted all, because there was very different needs. There was that need for information advice, where it might have been a small room, a telephone that they could use. They also wanted a place to socialise, and obviously you need a much bigger space for that. When people are arriving in this country, they speak very, very little English, if any. They have no understanding of housing, how to get a property. They don't have any understanding of employment laws here, things like the tax system. They don't know anything about the health and welfare system here. So they're coming from a very different culture, and they basically come here with no idea how to settle into this community. Right from the start, Miro said that what he really wanted was somewhere where they could have their own building, where they could provide those support and services to their own community, where they could be independent and not be governed or controlled by any organisations or agencies that already existed.
When communities first settle, there can be friction with locals, and this can result in violence.
I worked 6 years in the slaughterhouse, and my service is bigger than your age, and I don't know. And this Medina, I opened myself.
But you know, their journey is very similar to the journey my parents had, and it's about how can we bring them in and make them understand how society is and how we can integrate. But I don't think they identify racism as much, because it's not as much as it is back in Czech Republic.
Using my cup or plate, same.
There's racism still there, but it's probably moved away from the likes of us, Bengalis, Pakistanis, Indians, but the asylum seekers are more targets now. The Afro-Caribbean people are more targets now. So we're not targets as much as we used to be. Maybe Islamophobia, yeah, but racial discrimination is still within society and still in the terraces.
In September 2007, there was an arson attack on a Czech Roma family living in the West End of Newcastle.
We came here because to give a better future to my family, my children. My husband has got a good job here. Living here in this area for about a year and a half. My other son with his family and his 3 children, my grandchildren, is staying with me. There was an incident which happened in September, from the night from the 1st till the 2nd of September, early in the morning at 4:30, somebody set our car on fire. There was something which was more serious. It was my son who actually noticed it, because he has got a room opposite the entrance to the kitchen, and during the night he noticed some light coming from there, and then we knew that the door leading to the house was actually set on fire. I don't know what to say. I would probably summarize it. It's like living in a fear.
Despite advice about the difficulty of setting up community centres, Miro has already found a suitable property. It was a run-down upstairs flat belonging to his landlord, Mr. Shafiq.
Just ask around, can we have it the community centre? Even some people who know who is responsible from City Council, they say, no, you cannot have it. I say, why? No, I don't know why, but you cannot have it. Any building, because it's a building. You have to apply for community centre. I said, and what do you think, where we could get it? Oh, maybe 3 years, maybe 4 years. I said, no, we need now. My landlord actually said, look, can you fix that corner house? It is a breakdown. I said, can I get key? Can I go in? He said, yes. That corner house will be good if we can get it for our activity and just making a base.
In exchange for the Roma group renovating his property, Mr. Shafiq would defer rent until they had secured funding.
Everybody. Some people from City Council, important people.
Thank you so much. You are so nice, lovely gentleman. I don't know what to say actually. It's not
Any group, an organisation need an identity, need a place, need an identity. I know from the Bangladeshi community in the 80s, this established an association, but after time they had a building. Yeah. So it's an identity that this is part of us, this is ours, this is our identity.
For communities to be able to develop and to be able to provide for themselves, then there are certain stages that they have to go through, you know, and that is that they've got a very strong group of people who are a management committee, that those individuals have either experience or have been trained in running a building, financial management, seeking funding, and have some experience and track record of actually managing and handling public funds.
After 5 months of hard work, the Neve Roma Centre is ready to open.
The press have to be come down today So I'm really 6, nearly 7 months. Naked. Děti půjdou pryč. Ale tak a rodiče zůstanou doma sami. Can you open the house, please? Yes, for us, that's community center.
Dipu Ahad, a newly elected councillor for the area of Elsick, is invited to officially open the centre.
Look at the camera, yeah, it's okay? Yeah. I officially open the Czech Roma Community Centre. When I walked in, I was impressed, and I thought to myself, I actually felt that in such a short time, these guys have achieved something. And when I walked in, I was impressed over the layout, the office space, and the passion coming out, and the enthusiasm, the wholehearted happiness about this is our centre.
So I make something not only for myself, but for our community, especially for children, and for better life. Thank you. For everybody.
Thank you very much.
I was amazed actually, and it's in some points thinking this is what they really want. However, how easy will it be for them to sustain this? I had my concerns about it, but I was proud of them for what they'd achieved, because I knew how much it meant to that community to have its own centre and its own facility.
And the Czech Republic is stronger in here.
And we are proud of you. I am Pakistani, but we had to struggle like that. And I must say, all credit goes to you. And you are a great person, really.
Thank you.
All the support is with you in the future as well. If we can do anything for you, you are most welcome all the time.
Thank you. Thank you. The last thanks is actually should be get even my wife, because she's been patient with me. So, my wife. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Opening a centre, furnishing, buying equipment, that's easy to get the funding for that. What is very difficult to get the funding for is running costs.
The first phase of hard work is completed, but that is only the beginning. Will Miro and the Roma group be able to keep the centre going? Will Mr. Shafiq get his rent?
Very risky because he wait for the rent, long time wait. Now we pay him such and such, and now wait again, and he will be wait all the time, all the time. But he know that.
Becoming visible in the area brings immediate opportunities for Miro and the Roma community, and organisations like Northumbria Police are keen to help. A trip is planned to St James's Park, home of Newcastle United.
Understand me? Can you? You understand me now? You understand me? You? Yeah? Right, welcome to St James's Park. I'm Bob, I'm going to show you around. So there's a lot to see. All we have to do is we just got to keep together.
I am in Newcastle United, on the ground. It's good, nice.
How are the lads?
I like it in the Czech Republic, same, watching the Sparta Praga, watching football, being there, playing football every time. Yeah, it's good as well.
The Roma know that other young people don't hold back their resentment towards new communities like them.
Problémy, tam nemůže být klidná škola. Problémy tam jsou s Angličanama. Za všema.
He said had a problem with English boys. Yeah, he said every time I want to fight with him.
Everybody shout hooray! Hooray! Remember we were there? Can you remember?
Yeah.
And then we went up there, remember? Sat up there, that one with the lights. And then we walked along. And,
Of course, keep going. I have to make some plans. Of course, money is problem, yeah?
Centres like that quite often need a lot of input, either from volunteers themselves who give up their time for free, but not reliant on one person. Maybe 8, 10 people who can actually share the burden and share the load of that.
Despite Miro's eternal optimism and trust in his landlord's patience, the centre is forced to close within 4 months of its opening. This is an enormous personal tragedy for Miro and a huge setback for the Roma community.
We just closed down our centre. We cannot pay the rent, we cannot pay anything. I feel very bad because I waited the opportunity, I expect the help, so but it's everything coming too late. Even people, where is the sign? Oh dear. See, it's very bad for me, very bad for us.
Who will trust them in the future to develop other self-help projects? How can they integrate themselves into Tyneside life? What does their failure mean for other newly arrived groups from Eastern Europe?